TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day after the market close. Tom takes your phone calls from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time using the data available at that time.
Let's go to Glenn in Massachusetts. Hey, Glenn, what's going on?
You know what is good for us is Tom O'Brien providing an unbiased source of information for us investors. You don't have an agenda. It's just to cut through everything and to give us the facts. I want to thank you.
No, I appreciate it, man.
And now, here's Tom O'Brien.
Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 2 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone had a great day, safe day. Let's make it a great night, folks. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Assume nothing. In any kind of relationship, we can make the assumption that others know what we think. And we don't have to ask for what we want. We assume that they are going to know what we want because they know us so well. If they don't do what we want, we feel hurt and we think, how could they do that? You should know. Bottom line, folks, get rid of the grayness. Keep it black and white. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow down 279, NASDAQ off 66, S&P's off 30, gold contract up $2.20, trading at $1,539 an ounce. Silver off $1.58 at $36.72. Platinum down $7 at $1,821 an ounce. Copper down 9 pennies at $4.08 a pound. Light sweet crude down $2.62 a barrel, trading out at $100 a barrel. Bonds up 1.5 at 126.07. Dollar index up 23 ticks at 74.94. Euro down 69 at 143. And the yen was down 57, trading out at 80.95. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world? In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at them. What do we have out here? Well, you get some real deviance out here, folks. So, S&P cash, we're at 1314. What we did here yesterday, you go up on 1.5 billion. You didn't get into the swing point. That swing point, by the way, folks, is 1346.85. We got to a price point of the 1345.20. Now, you back down today with 1.1 billion. You're going against one separate swing point, but what you have is this. You have on the 23rd only 866 million, which is the swing point at 1312.88, and then you have 1311.80 on the 25th, which is at 961 million. So what you have here is that you're coming into that swing point. Now you're coming in with some volume. What I expect you're going to have happen here is this. You're going to get some kind of a bounce out of this. And this is why. Now, this is sick. Listen to this. This is well, here, let's go through the rest of them first, because you'll see we're going downtown in a big way, and it's going to be the lights out, folks. But I want to show you what I suspect you're going to get first. The Dow Industrials. What did the Dow do? The Dow breaks the swing, the 12,309, breaks it with volume. That sets up that you've just come into the April 18th time frame, and the April 18th time frame, what we've done is that you've done 1 billion shares there. You've also, underneath, once again, the 18th of February, so the longer term is setting up that, hey, that's getting all the way down to the 11,555 mark. Now, let's go to the SPY. We take a look at the SPY. This is what we did with the SPY. SPY volume comes out of the SPY again today. We do 212 million shares. Yesterday you did 164. Bottom line, the SPY wants to go into that swing point of the 131.38. Right now it's down $3 at 131.87. We go to the 3Qs. What you have with the 3Qs is that 3Qs came down with 49 million shares. You're going into the swing point with 41 million. You're also going into an update with 67 million. The 3Qs right now at the 5709 area, and this little baby can actually get a bounce right out of here, right where we are. Now, and what is it all about? Okay, so check it out. What you have, folks, is this, is that when you come down this fast. And when I say this fast, what we're talking about is that we came down 2.25% on the NASDAQ, 2.25% on the S&Ps, 2.25% on the Dow Industrials. What happens is the trend, okay? Now, there's two different gauges I look at only when you have huge updrafts and huge downdrafts. One of them is that when you have a closing trend of 4.49, which we have today, you'll get a short-term bounce. Now, the deviance inside this, and this is what I suspect you're going to have. Every bounce that has been in the every dip rather that's been in the marketplace the past year and a half, 2 years have got rewarded. Today got smoked beyond belief. Last time that happened was April of 2010. You know, we came down 15% flat out. What I expect you're going to get here, you'll get a small bounce, nothing heavy. You'll get a small bounce coming out of here. Only because of that, the bulls will think that that's it again, right? And then it's lights out. And I suspect it's going to be lights out. The place that would be the most deviant and would be this, is that because we just come down 30 points, the S&P could actually try to get into the 1336 area again. So we'll see where this shakes out. But it's no doubt a wild one. And now, what is it all about? Well, this good old U.S. dollar, folks, it's all about the dollar. Dollar today, what does it do? It basically had come back to the price point of 74.34, rejected the lows. And by the way, folks, I would not be trading the bounce here on the way up. That's the bottom line. But, okay, so the dollar index hit a low today of 74.34. Rejected that low. Got to 74.92. That correlation, number one, is going for the 76.54 area. Number two, what I expect you're going to see is that we'll probably get volume at that area, and then that little baby wants to get up into the $79 and $80 area. Now, what did that do to the markets? Well, what it did to the markets is took them apart. Inside these markets, what you have is that if we go over to the banks, the XLF, if you want to see ABC structures down all over the place, folks, the banks have it. The XLF took out the $15.39 with dramatically higher volume. You're talking about 120 million versus 64 million. The A point on the XLF is $16.46. The B is $15.35, so you get about $1.10. Where's that going to put it? That puts it at $14.70. $14.70 gets you all the way down to the lows of November of 2010. And you break those lows of November 2010, then what you have is that you have an $11 XLF happening. Transports. Transports out here absolutely got smoked. You talk about getting taken to the cleaners. These little babies came down 3.5%. You're at down 185. You're at 52.83 right now. The 52.83 not only got it inside the two separate accelerations up. The 52.83 basically brought this all the way back in 1 day to February 16th. So big numbers. Silver. Now, silver started taking it on the chin. It started taking it early. Gold hasn't taken it yet, but check out the silver contract. Silver pulls back $1.75. Did 78,000 contracts out here. We're trading out at 36.73. Now, silver's going to need more than that to basically break out those bottoms. The low out there right now, folks, is 149,000 contracts. So how you hit that at the bottom is going to be saying, okay, is it going to build more cars before it does basically break that bottom? Gold contract took a while for that gold contract to break. I suspect in the gold contract, however, you're going to see some mean movement, and I mean mean movement downtown. And the reason being is this. What you had with gold is that gold has been holding up, number one. Gave it back only slightly today. You know, gold hit a high of 1551. It's trading right now at 1539. You had 138,000 contracts. You know, failed at the swing points up there at the 1544 swing points. What gold did is this. Gold got into the highs of May 2nd. And then it's under the lows of May 2nd. Now, you got to remember the highs and lows of May 2nd were highs. 1577 was the high, 1542 is the low. It gets today to 1551, rejects the price, I'll figure out the volume. Let me see. I got to go to a different contract for the volume. Bottom line, rejected it. That's saying it wants to come back down into that 1464 area. So it's going to be high volatility, folks, right across all the markets. Bonds. You take a look at the bond market. Pretty amazing what we have with the bond market. Bond market today was up 1.5 points. That is a monster move, folks. Right now you're at 126.06. And the way this bond has just lined up is that it's amazing. It's number one. This is counterintuitive, no doubt. But the bonds right now, we are at the 127.15 on the continuous contract. Well, 129.14 is game. I can make a case that 132 is game. You know, this is a huge acceleration up. Now, if we take from the highs to the lows, meaning the last time that the bond was at 136 was August of 2010, if you just take a retracement off that number, well, we just blew by the 50% retracement, which is the 127. What that sets up is that, 129 is game, but the swing point up there is shooting up there at the price point of that one. No, we got 133. So it's a huge number, folks. There's no two ways about that. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Now, let's go take a look at some of the gold equities. We'll start with Rheingold. Rheingold Resources, what does it do? Can't handle price. It's not bad, though. It's backing now at 480,000 shares. Not the end of the world. If that gets into the price point of 76.88, and you get only down there at about 400,000, that would actually be a buy. An Eagle, AEM. What are we doing there? If that backed down slightly today, but if that can get into this 62 area with less than, let's say, 1 million shares, then there's action there too. So it's going to get really interesting these next 5, 6, 7 days. We had Honeywell down 202. IBM was off 236. We had Boeing down, 268. Let's go over to Caterpillar and see what Caterpillar did. Yeah, Caterpillar's in trouble. Caterpillar, folks, Caterpillar had finished an ABC structure on the way up. For all the folks that came to my workshops when I was traveling across the country, I was using Caterpillar as one of them, showing what happens when an ABC finishes up. Finished up at 116, you're trading at 101. Now, bottom line, Caterpillar wants to do an ABC down. You had volume come out of it again today. It's going to go into that swing point. More than likely, you're going to see it break down on volume. We'll come back. When we're coming back, we're going to go through the financials. The financials right across the board are doing ABC structures down. They're blowing out B points, and they're blowing them out with volume. We're going to be right back, folks.